Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your tarot reading for the month of March 2022. This reading is intended for Scorpio Sun and Rising. Scorpio Moons may also find messages here, so you may want to watch as well. Cross watchers are always welcome. And if you haven't watched the collective reading yet, I recommend that you do that also. I go deeper into the collective energy of the card of the month, which is the Hermit, in that video. So this video zeroes in on how that energy is meant to show up and be focused on it specifically for you, Scorpio. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on this video. I'd really love to create a bigger community where we kind of have conversations with each other. And also, it lets YouTube know that you think my content is valuable and that you want to see more of it. So without further ado, let's jump into your reading. So before we pull your focus card, let me go ahead and move the tarot cards to the side. What we're going to do is we're going to work with some astro dice, and we're going to look at what sign, what house, what planet might be particularly prominent for you in the month of March 2022. So let me go ahead and shake these up really well, and let's see what comes out for you, Scorpio. All right. Okay. Move that over. So we have Neptune, which is really big right now because Neptune is in its own sign of Pisces, and we are in Pisces season. The 10th house of your career, your reputation, what you have come to this earth and incarnated to be known for. Very different from the 6th house where it's our daily work, you know, and our routine. 10th house is like our career and what we really want to accomplish in this life. And the sign of Sagittarius. So that could be your higher beliefs. It could be related to religion, your spiritual beliefs. You know, Sagittarius is the higher mind. It could be your connection to, you know, God or, you know, the goddess or whatever it is that you believe in, that's bigger than yourself, especially with its connection with Neptune being present here, because the sign of Pisces by by traditional rulership is ruled by Jupiter, you know, and then its modern rulership is by Neptune. So those two kind of, you know, blending is really giving me the sense, especially, you know, with the 10th house here, that, you know, maybe you're looking at, you know, where in the bigger picture of your life, you know, and what you've come here to be known for, maybe how your beliefs factor into that. Maybe there are some changes that you want to make. If we're looking at this holistically as a, you know, as divination, you know, mixing them together, but also, you know, look at what, you know, house your natal Neptune is in. Look at what transiting Neptune is doing to maybe your natal planets. Also as well, look at activity that's happening in your 10th house, you know, by natal, you know, your natal chart and transits. If you don't have a copy of your natal chart, I have a link in the descriptions, as well as what house Sagittarius rules for you. And let's see, if you know, if we just look at Scorpio holistically, like, you know, if Scorpio is the first house, Sagittarius is the second house, which rules our finances, our values, you know, it can rule the body. You know, it's very Taurus, Venusian, you know, kind of qualities. So, you know, anything that has to do with that, and, you know, if we're looking at finances, that could be related to your 10th house and, you know, the ways that your reputation, you know, or what you want to do as a career, how that could factor into, you know, really being focused on more so your beliefs and then the money will come, you know, is kind of the sense that I'm getting, especially with Neptune here. It's like, you know, the higher beliefs of something, you know, and the intangibles rather than the material. Of course, money is always important, right? We live on the material plane, but there is something very spiritual that I'm getting here. And especially with the Hermit being our card of the month, we're doing a lot of soul searching and internal reflection, which could really, you know, lead you, Scorpio, to thinking about, your values and, what you really want to be known for, when all is said and done in this carnation that you're in this incarnation. And that might have carried over from a past life if you believe in that. I'm a big believer, in past lives, where there may have been some of that, those spiritual qualities, and you're really looking to bring more of that into your life, especially, where we are in Pisces season, which is the wrapping up of an astrological year, in the beginning of March. And then in the end of March, we are kicking it off, like baby birds ready to hatch from the nest, in Aries season. So, really considering a lot, about really who you are. If we think about the 10th house, 4th house axis, it's like, 10th house is where we grow to. The 4th house is our roots, so, it's like, I really can't think of one without the other. It's like, where we've come from, in 4th house, I think of that, as, our childhood, our family, but roots as well, could be past lives of like our roots of where our soul originated, and what we may have chosen for ourselves, or, the past, our past soul incarnations and what we're really desiring to reach this time around. So there's a lot there, and we're going to pull a focus card to see where we can get some more information. But, really that is a big calling, and lots to consider in this month for you, Scorpio. But I feel like you're up to the challenge. I mean, you're not a Scorpio for no reason. You're able to really, go deep and consider those big questions. So, and do a lot of transformation and healing work. So, you know what? Let me take this ring off. It's very pretty. I love it. But, as someone with sensory processing issues, when things are pretty, it doesn't matter, because if they get in the way, it doesn't matter how cute they are. So I'm going to put that to the side. I might need to find a, more comfortable one. If you're into jewelry, I love suggestions, as long as they're affordable. So, drop that in the comments if you got it. Like, I love snakes. I have my 5th house in Scorpio, which is, my creativity is meant to be very transformative. I changed my logo where it has a snake coming, reaching up into the stars, and that just spoke to me so much, and the transformational energy. So, I have a couple planets in Scorpio. I really identify with the Scorpio archetype. But let me stop rambling. What is your focus card for the month of March 22? One card for Scorpio. And I'm only going to read this upright. I know I was reading some of the focus cards in reverse last month, but I want to read it as if, look at that. Oh my God. As if it's your own personal collective card for the month. And you got the Hermit. This is double Hermit energy. You guys are really spending some time considering things, like, and these hermits aren't facing each other. This person is almost, they are sitting above a situation. Very 10th house here. It's like, looking at something from a higher view, Sagittarius, and taking in and reflecting on, what, it's like, it's very contemplative energy, but it's, almost disconnected from, the material plane, where, this hermit is walking on the earth. He has his staff rooted to the ground, and is holding his lamp with the beacon, the star inside. This beacon is, has lit this person's steps up to where they can kind of illuminate a path for themselves and consider and reflect on their own, which is very Scorpio-like to me. Is like, you don't mind doing the work on your own. You don't necessarily need somebody to do it for you, but it's almost like the blending of, that Scorpio and Sagittarius Neptunian energy. Neptune is very, foggy, and there's a lot of, ether surrounding this person. Sagittarius is the higher mind, so it's like taking a bird's eye view here, you know, but you're Scorpio who can also plunge the depths of, you know, any situation and really come out of the other side, you know, completely changed or transformed, or the situation has changed. It's, you know, a constant renewal, death and rebirth, you know. And the number 9, if you think about it, you know, these are 2 9s here. I've said this in another video. Any number that you add 9 to, it always reduces back down to itself. So let's take, okay, you have 10 here. So let's just take the number 1. So if you add 9 and 1 together, you get 10. Okay, and then 1 plus 0 equals 1. So 9s are a number of regeneration, which is very, very Scorpio-like. The number 9 in numerology is also related to and ruled by Mars, which is your traditional rulership, Scorpio, you and Aries. So, you know, it is a constant regeneration of your energy in this reflection. I really am thinking, you know, that this is a serious incubation time. It's almost like, you know, after the world being in the womb, ready to be rebirthed into another full cycle is what I'm feeling. So let me pull a oracle card that kind of merges, you know, these are 2 aligned cards, but the frequency that spirit wants you to work with in the month of March, you know, that aligns these hermit energies. Like, that's why I like, you know, just pulling from the Smith-Waite Centennial and leaving the entire deck to work with, because you never know, you know, what card is going to come out. And, you know, when these 2 hermits come out, that to me is, you know, that's really big for you. This month is a really meaningful month for you, Scorpio. Okay, and we got card 42, which reduces down to a 6, ruled by Venus. We are in a 6th year, and it's a lover's year, which is very Venusian as well. Venus and Mars are kind of opposite energies. So, you know, what are you alchemizing here? But Tantric journey, the frequency of Tantric journey helps us to unlock the hidden knowledge and wisdom that we intrinsically hold. Oh, holy shit, about how to reach a state of wholeness and completion through our sensual experiences with ourselves and with another. Okay, so it's like you're doing this work, you know, internally, and then this 10th house energy of your reputation, what you came to be known for, you know, Neptune is a higher octave of Venus, which is what we're getting with this 42-6, because, you know, in numerology, you can look at the separate numbers as well, for ruled by Uranus for also a sense of stability. And then 2, you know, ruled by the high priestess and the moon, you know, which is that duality, that dual nature. It's like, you know, almost looking for, you know, that sense of stability, you know, but let me try to clarify a little bit. It's like stability in yourself, but more, you know, with that Uranus energy of the number 4, seeking the future, like a futuristic kind of, you know, reaching out. With that 10th house, like I said, you know, the 4th house can sometimes signify our roots and literally past lives, you know, the roots that we've come from previous lifetimes. It's like the 10th house is reaching out into future lives for you, or future, you know, what you see for the future for, you know, not just yourself with this too, you know, and then reduce down to the 6, but it's almost like, you know, that sacred mirror of, you know, whatever is reflected around you. The, you know, the lovers doesn't necessarily have to be you and another person. It can be romantic. It can be platonic. It can be, you know, your relationship to your family. Excuse me. But it can also be your relationship to your community, your environment, whatever it is that you look outside of yourself and see, and, you know, look back and see, reflect on, is this intrinsically aligned with you? Like, is it, you know, are you reaching a state of wholeness and completion? You know, and sensual experiences. Tantra isn't all about sex. I know, like, when we hear about Tantra, it's usually, people having orgasms that last for hours. It's really, a practice of, experiencing things with all of our senses. And this, with the hidden knowledge and wisdom, is really hermit energy. It's like unlocking frequencies that, could have been locked away from lifetimes where, excuse me, I'm just getting over being sick and I have asthma, so I'm like doubly screwed right now, but I'm trying to work through it. Where you might have been like a wise person that people came to, and it's like you're seeking to kind of recover that part of yourself, and transform into going even further, with this tantric journey. Because with Sagittarius here, Sagittarius is the ultimate seeker. So it's like seeking experiences that go beyond what we've ever experienced before, even in past lives. And I know that might seem really woo, but that's something that I am really picking up here. And what we're going to do next is we're going to pull some more chakra cards and see what else is meant to be the focus for you for the month, Scorpio. So 2 chakra cards for what Scorpio is focusing on for the month of March 2022. All right, we got 1. Let's see what this is. Communication. All right, and here, let me put this on this side because we have a lot of blue here, and it's like a blue-green color. So, that teal, it's like bringing in some green from the heart chakra, but it's more blue. So really learning how to speak from that place of wisdom, that place of wholeness, with other people, which is why you're getting this 6 energy, because Scorpios, you're a water sign, you feel deeply, but you may not necessarily share, everything that you have going on, which I understand. I'm a Capricorn moon. Capricorn moons get a bad rap for, not being intuitive or feeling a lot, but we feel a lot as well. We may not tell you what we're feeling, but we feel it too. So I understand. And look at that, emotions. So communicating, not just feeling. And look, we have some orange here. So it's like this Tantra is really, all of the senses, like bringing them all together. And then communicating is, I'm not just getting the sense of you speaking, but it's like opening your channels, all of your channels, because we receive communication from our bodies. We receive communication, through our crown chakra. We receive communication, we're always getting feedback through, subtle ways and overt ways. But, how is that affecting you emotionally? And, how can you reflect on that and, also, communicate the wisdom that you're receiving, through your senses, sensual experiences, emotions. So it's really, really bringing you into a complete sense of wholeness. And didn't I say that the second house, Sagittarius is your second house. It's the higher mind. It's almost like, your crown chakra is being blown wide open, and it's almost like the higher realms, or like your higher mind is giving you feedback, through your senses, through your body. It's like you're bringing it all the way down through, to the root, like from your head to toe. So that is really, really cool, Scorpio. So what we're going to do now that we have your oracle cards and your focus card pulled is we are going to get into your tarot reading. And the first card that we're going to pull is where you are at the start of the month. So 1 card for Scorpio. Where's Scorpio at the beginning of the month? Okay. Ace of Wands. Okay, so maybe getting like a flash of, this to me really speaks to sensations as well. a flash of emotion. Ace of Wands is, a lighting up of our passions. Any ace is a gift from the universe. So, being that you're by yourself, it's like maybe your guides, your higher self, they are communicating to you through emotional feedback. So I'm getting strong, energy that is just, vibrating through you. It could be sensations in different parts of your body. Let me feel. It's like here, definitely getting third eye chakra. And then, the third eye is also, third eye is closer to the eyebrows. So this really could be crown chakra. It could be both, especially when I'm getting Sagittarius here. Sagittarius is really related to the crown chakra, but on the body, Sagittarius rules the thighs. It rules the buttocks too. So like your butt, there could be some, real sensations and urges to move your body in a way that communicates how you're feeling, that expresses your emotions. And then with Neptune present here, if we're thinking about Pisces and being in Pisces season, Pisces rules the feet. So really getting maybe some interpretive kind of maybe dancing, really feeling that, especially with wands, because wands are passionate and they bring a sense of fun. So, maybe really doing something that lights up your energy, but, in a more solitary way, like, that you're connecting to yourself and your body in ways that, pull some of those emotions that are so deep for you, Scorpio, that they kind of surface them, unlock hidden knowledge that is in your body. But let's go ahead and clarify this Ace of Wands and see, get a little bit more information, because aces, they can mean a lot of things. Okay. So we have the Five of Cups here. Yeah, and I was getting a feeling of like needing to move through some really deep emotions. Okay, we got the Five of Cups. That is a card that's ruled by Mars and Scorpio. Some of you might have that placement as well. If not, that doesn't mean this isn't your reading. It could mean that you are dealing with some really deep, big grief. And I feel like that applies to so many people in the collective, if not everybody, because we're experiencing so much loss. And as of today, we just had the first exact hit yesterday of the Pluto return of the United States. And, just thinking of the ways that, if you live in the United States, even if you don't, this is some energy that we've been dealing with for a long time that has led to a lot of loss and grief. But our country was founded on murder, on rape, on genocide, on, so many atrocities, and really heartbreaking. And as a Scorpio, like, you could feel that so deeply and not necessarily bury it, but it may not be something that like you communicate in your everyday that you feel. You could have lost somebody in this pandemic, like anything that has to deal with Pluto, the effects are really long-term, and Saturn as well. Because I was thinking earlier today before I even started shooting, like, I thought about the day that the Saturn-Pluto conjunction happened, in early 2020, and how not long after, like the day of, just like, everyone was talking about 2/22/22, like get ready, the fallout and the effects of things, of those big astrological transits, they don't usually happen right away, but we started seeing the manifestations of it not long after, right? Like lockdown happened with COVID. People were dying en masse. We couldn't get tests. We were experiencing a failure of leadership. We're still experiencing that. There's big loss, big grief. So many people lost loved ones. you know, and there's still so many people acting like this is a game, which is, you know, grief-inducing and frustrating in itself. And, you know, Mars and Scorpio really says, you know, to channel, you know, that grief into some sort of action, you know, that lights you up, you know, those deep emotions. It may be that it's really calling you, you know, after, you know, this period of reflection, this real, you know, tantric journey that's meant to bring you to a state of wholeness, you know, in, you know, your sensational self, that you're connecting with others in a way that you haven't before, where maybe you were not necessarily locking these feelings away, but you were more dealing with them in a solitary way. And the hermit, you know, is not always about being by yourself. Sometimes it's the ultimate wise one, right? That people seek out, similar to the way that, you know, they seek out, you know, maybe a spiritual teacher, you know, in the Hierophant card. But the Hermit card is like, you know, wisdom lived, you know, through so many, you know, hard experiences, and really, you know, going through that previous lesson like we did, you know, from February, of being authentic, like showing our authentic selves and really getting to know, you know, ourselves and love ourselves, you know, and it's not a one and done lesson, but authentically. And, you know, the parts of us that are messy as well, grief is really messy and it's a long process, but I see you like really becoming passionate about, you know, expressing these things externally and not keeping your emotional self, like hiding it under, and like, I'm searching for the words. It's almost like, you know, allowing yourself to be seen. You see, this is, there's a 6 and a 2 in this card. So it's like, look, this reduces down to a 6 and it's got a 2 in it as well. Like, the reflection, you know, that you're seeing on the outside, it's like you're ready to really share that with other people, safe people, but really able to channel it. And okay, let's move forward. I probably spent way too much time on one card, but I was seeing that, and sorry about that. But the next card is a challenge that may arise for you this month. Okay. So what challenge is arising for you, Scorpio? 5 of Swords. This was our central card in the collective reading. So again, if you have not watched the collective reading, please go watch that. I don't recommend that you try to watch everything back to back. You know, I make all of these videos because I genuinely do care, and I want to give everybody a full snapshot of, you know, what's going on for everyone and then what's going on specifically for you. So, but this 5 of Swords is a challenge for everybody. And that's why I was saying with this double hermit energy, it's like you're really tapped in to the collective, because they're very aligned. And the 5 of Swords is saying like that there's grief, like this is a challenging card. It's another 5 where people are really stressed, and it's almost like here is, you know, every regular person trying to go about their lives day to day and survive through some really challenging circumstances. I mean, challenging isn't even the word. It's, you know, almost impossible. And here in the background is like our asshole systems, you know, which this 5, any 5 is related to the Hierophant, which, you know, really does relate to like our, you know, government systems, you know, higher systems that, you know, are supposed to take care of us, that have a social responsibility to show up for us. And, you know, part of this Jupiter and Neptune and Pisces, look at this, Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Jupiter is also a ruler of Pisces, and we've got Neptune here, which is also in Pisces. We're going through this transit where it's like, here they are, you know, thinking, you know, like, or just throwing their hands up like, you know, the universe will take care of it. Well, no, that's not how it works. This is your job to protect us. And, you know, if you live in America, this is a year where we have midterm elections, and they're more concerned about, getting reelected than actually taking care of the people. They're lifting mask mandates, and every month there's a new, more dangerous strain or more contagious strain of COVID. People are suffering or, worrying, how are they going to feed their families? How am I going to make ends meet? What do I do really? And with this 10th house, it's like, how do I actualize when I'm just trying to survive, right? Like if we think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like we can't reach our 10th house and worry about reaching our 10th house, which is, that self-actualization, if we're worried about our basic needs, which, with the Sagittarius, Scorpio, Sagittarius is your second house. It's like, your money, your values, your everyday, your home, like just getting your needs met is what I feel like that is a real challenge and a source of stress for you. And that might be something that, is challenging. It's like you're feeling real grief over that. And it has you fired up, really fed up. And then maybe that's something that's like, you're ready to really turn that into activism, like use those emotions and channel them outward, and that could be in a collective group. I've really been feeling like this hermit energy is almost, it's setting us up for next month in April, where it's like the Wheel of Fortune is like, let's fucking go, but it's like, this is the period where we're getting ready. Because I've been getting a lot of intuitive downloads from my guides that like this year really doesn't kick off until April starts. Like that's when, we will feel, and it makes sense. It's right after the spring equinox. Aries season is the astrological new year, but that's too many cards, but let me see what they are, where we'll feel like we can express some of that outward, energy. So the third placement is how to tackle the challenge, take decisive action. Okay, and we got the Judgment card, the Ace of Cups, and the Chariot. And you know what? These are all your cards. So we've got the Hermit here, so I'm just going to move this up. Okay, so first, Judgment, which is ruled by Pluto, and it's a fire card. Pluto is your modern ruler, Scorpio. Okay, Ace of Cups, related to your emotions, right? And we've got emotions here, and there's blue here connected to communication, really communicating how you feel. Judgment really says like you're understanding these cycles, because Pluto, like I was talking about, like these cycles happen over and over. We just had, our first hit of the Pluto return of the United States. That never happens in, one person's lifetime. None of us live for, 246 to 250 years, right? But it's like Judgment is the ultimate, it's justice plus, because the Justice card is cause and effect. Pluto is seeing cause and effect in not only in a certain situation, but in these cycles of lifetimes before, of generations before, in the spiral, the macrocosm and the microcosm. So it's like tackling the challenge of this Five of Swords is saying, like with this Judgment card, you understand with this Hermit energy, all of this, like this wisdom really does live within you with this Tantric journey card. And the Ace of Cups is like, allow your emotions, like channel them. You've been given the gift as a Scorpio of really, digging deep into your heart center, and like allowing, like draw that up, from, this is sacral. So draw it up into your heart center. Like I said, I was feeling, some of that green coming, from this teal color. And here we have more teal and blue. And then the Chariot is like, you have the willpower, you have the understanding, the knowledge of what it takes to move forward. So it's almost like you have understanding your ability to understand. It's very metacognitive, if that makes sense, like, which to me is very tantric. You know, you have the ability to really take the reins and lead. And you may not feel ready for that with this hermit energy, but I think that really is a calling from your guides, of you to not stay stuck in this Five of Swords energy where, excuse me, let me get some water, where you're just worried about the problem rather than taking action, you know, even if it's just in small ways, because we've got the Ace here, you know, it's not, you're not in like a 10 of Cups or like further down, you know, in the Suit of Cups, but like really take this Chariot by the horns. And you know, in the Smith Rider-Waite Chariot, there are two sphinxes instead of horses. It's like understanding the mysteries, you know, which with Pluto totally makes sense to me. I'm going to pull a clarifier as well, but you know, it's like, if you're questioning yourself, if you're really feeling like, you know, defeated, like this is an impossible situation to overcome, just understanding that, you know, this is a cycle, you know, that's been going on for longer than you've existed. And, you know, that's been going on for longer than, you know, your ancestors, your most recent ancestors have existed. But we're constantly, you know, moving forward with movements, you know, political movements, social justice movements that are very heart-centered, that are, you know, directed from passion to make a change, you know, and to be a part of that is really what I'm feeling. But let me get this clarifier, you know, because I've been, you know, I'm doing a series right now, and it'll already be out by the time this video is out, about taking collective action. Like, we've been really focused on individual growth. We need to be doing collective growth. Father of Pentacles. Okay. So yeah, the Father of Pentacles is like, you know, somebody who is trying to leave a legacy. This is very 10th house. Like, your legacy is really to be a leader. The Father of Pentacles is the King of Pentacles. Really having a social responsibility with this hermit energy to be part of these movements, you know, and maybe taking a leadership role in these movements, because you have untapped knowledge and wisdom, you know, and it says intrinsically that you hold inside of you. So, you know, really working with your guides, really, you know, doing hermit wisdom, doing more research about how to, you know, bring this into the material plane, because we've got wands, we've got swords, we don't have any earth here in this spread, that they're other than the pentacles. And I think that this Father of Pentacles is saying, like, you need to bring this down to earth, because you're meant to leave a legacy. Like this 10th house, the 10th house is naturally ruled by Capricorn, right? So that, I mean, this is like a big higher calling for you, because we already have three majors there. You know what, and I'm gonna move these around because I really want you to see that Judgment card and this Chariot card, and move this Ace of Cups, because this is really important shit. I'm sorry, like, that there's really no other way to explain that, Scorpio. Okay, there we go. All right, and then where may you be by the end of the month? Okay, the King of Wands in reverse. So, you know, kings, you have another king here. Kings have a social responsibility to their subjects. And the King of Wands in reverse is saying that maybe you're still feeling a little bit of hesitation, but the passion is there. The emotions are there. The King of Wands is fire of fire. You know, it is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius all inside of it. Just like, you know, the Father of Pentacles, I read the Kings as having all three of, you know, whatever element, you know, the astrological signs inside of them. They've learned all the lessons from the Ace all the way up to the Queens. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I take that back. This is the Knight of Wands in reverse. Okay. So let me just back that up. You have the Knight of Wands in reverse. So this is you. Knights are about movement, right? Knights want to take action towards something that they're very passionate about. And I'm still getting that message, right? Of feeling a little bit of hesitation. This challenge of the Five of Swords is here. That, you know, that's realistic. Okay, those things don't just go away on their own. You know, it takes some time to work through. You know, we live on Earth, right? We are Earth beings having a spiritual experience. And the Knight of Wands is just saying, I really get the sense that, you know, in the upright, she's like, she's beating her drum. Her horse, you know, is like up and ready to go. Look at these Four of Wands surrounding this person, just like in the Four of Wands. Like, there's a sense of completion here if you associate it with the Four of Wands. In the reverse, excuse me if you can hear my stomach growling, it's time for me to eat. But it's almost like, you know, this would be you crossing some sort of threshold where you are actually completing a task. I feel like the Knight of Wands is in the reverse is saying you're just getting started, like with this Ace. You know, it's like you're ending the month the way that you started, but that's okay because you're still really in this period of coming to understand these lessons. And here I'm going to go ahead and clarify this as well so we can see why the Knight of Wands in reverse is showing up for you. Okay, yeah, Three of Wands. You're just starting to expand, right? The Two of Wands is, you know, kind of in a planning phase. The Ace of Wands, you're just getting inspiration, but you have moved closer by the end of the month to, you know, this Knight of Wands energy. Didn't I say this looked like the Four of Wands? And here we go with the clarifier of the Three of Wands. And, you know, look at how it's almost like being able to see beyond. You know, it's like you're in this phase where you're seeing into the situation and you're really expanding your consciousness and understanding. Your emotions are growing, like every part of the rainbow. Didn't I say, it's like with this Tantra, your aura is really, you know, expanding and lit up, and, you know, there's people will be attracted to your energy. So with this Chariot, with this Judgment card, with this Knight of Wands in reverse, like the Knight is still here, you're going to be attractive to a lot of people that are going to want to be a part of whatever it is that you want to build. Knights are also about communication. So in the reverse, it's like, here you go, you got communication and emotions. Don't forget to talk about it. You know, if this is in reverse and you're still kind of mum's the word, speak about it. You know, what we put out into the universe, you know, thoughts and words are very important, especially if we are communicating what it is that we want for ourselves and for the collective to other people. You don't know who's listening and who is responding and who wants, you know, a piece of that, or to join you on your journey and help you. So that really is an important piece here. Speak your truth, and it will keep growing and growing, that fire. So let's go from there. And now that we've pulled your tarot spread, we're going to pull some oracle cards to get some more information about the rest of your month. And here, let me move your dice to the side so we have some more space. Okay. Okay, messages for Scorpio for the month of March. Messages for Scorpio. Okay. Let's see. Let it flow. Let it grow. Okay, so really letting that energy flow. And here we go with Earth energy, Father of Pentacles. Like, let that grow, because that is the only Earth card that I'm seeing in your spread. But you've got some fire here, you know, And letting it grow is really like letting your emotions grow and take root, and speaking it out into the universe, speaking it out into the collective as well. If you don't already have a platform, create one, you know, or work towards that. We all have to start somewhere, right? And I feel like that Ace of Wands is saying that too. Start where you are. You know, when I started my Instagram, it was May of 2020. And, you know, I still don't have a huge following, but I have way more than I did. And here I am in 2022 starting a YouTube channel, but I'm trusting the process, even though sometimes I have doubt, you know, that my voice is reaching anyone. But, you know, I'm flowing with the process, and just, you know, it will grow, is what I am just trusting in, that, you know, the people who are meant to hear my messages and resonate with them will find me. But you have to start somewhere, and everybody starts from zero, right? Unless you're unbelievably privileged. You're always shifting. Look at that. So, okay. Like, even starting from zero, like, the shift is happening on your journey, as long as you are putting the time and effort into it and using your voice. Like, the time is now. But you have to plant your seeds and then water them and keep moving ahead, like one step at a time, one day at a time, brick by brick. Okay, so let's get another oracle card here. Okay, and you got, let me see, I hope I'm not butchering that, Marok, embrace oneness with the universe. And that's card 16, which relates to the Tower. And that is Mars, okay? That's you again, Scorpio. What is it that you are ready to co-conspire with the universe to fucking burn down, or like break down these old systems to, you know, create something better, a new foundation on which to grow? You know, you see how this person, you know, is walking through, you know, these weeds. It's almost like, you know, there's nothing there. She's walking through, you know, maybe what there used to be a structure there, you know, but the universe wants to work with you, you know, co-create with you, to bring something better along. Okay. And now we're going to look at some essential oil oracles. And I really love these because they have kind of reframing statements. So things we might tell ourselves and ways that we can replace those thoughts with, you know, more helpful, more, you know, true statements, truer to, you know, what would help us grow. You guys got a bunch, and I'm feeling like they're all yours. So here we go. Grace. Trigger statement. What do they have that I don't? And this is pink pepper. So trigger statement. What do they have that I don't? True statement. We are all special. Allow your inner critic to be silenced as you find the perfection in yourself and those around you. Okay, and this could have a little bit to do with this Five of Swords energy, where maybe you're feeling like, you know, somebody else is winning at your expense, or, you know, they have something, you know, that maybe you don't have. And maybe that's why I was getting the feeling of like, you know, starting something new, creating a platform for yourself, and maybe feeling like, you know, why would I start now? But we're all special, and you have something unique to contribute. So let's put that there. Let's see what else we have. Coriander, honoring self. Trigger statement. This is the way it has always been done. Judgment. True statement. I create my way. You are ready to fulfill your desires by thinking outside the box. The path less traveled may be more fulfilling. And this feels like this hermit, like looking above the situation and seeing where, you know, what is your unique path? Because I feel like it's not going to look like anybody else's. Your voice is not going to sound like anybody else's. And that is the key to your success, right? Okay. And receptivity, trigger statement, I am guarded. Scorpio, don't be guarded. True statement, my heart is open. Ace of Cups, this is a time for you to receive new information. Open your heart to receive it. Okay, like, I'm done. I'm not done. Not really. I always say that, but no, I'm not done. Let's see. Liberated, adaptable. Okay, trigger statement. What happens next? True statement. I am divinely guided. And that's what I was saying. Like, spirit wants to help direct you on this journey. Dear soul, please remember that you never walk alone. And as well, using your voice, like this Knight of Wands, you're divinely connected, but there are also divine connections in people. With this 42-6, we're in a lover's year, that there might be, you know, divine counterparts. And I'm not talking about twin flames. I don't believe in that bullshit. I'm sorry. I have to respectfully disagree, and I don't mean to offend anybody. I feel like those are toxic relationships, but what I'm saying with divine counterparts is almost like soulmates, which can be, you know, any kind of relationship where it's like, you know, you're calling in somebody who matches your energy and who, you know, is meant to be on your path. Okay, so dear soul, please remember that you never walk alone. So you don't have to be alone. You don't have to do any of this alone. All right, so the last thing I'm going to pull, here, let me move some of these so they're not all on top of each other. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure they all stay in frame. The last thing I'm going to pull are 3 self-care cards that spirit, your higher self, your guides are suggesting may help you for this month. So three self-care cards for Scorpio. And Scorpio, you got the longest reading. I really hope you hung in here till the end, because this feels really important for you guys this month of March. Like, seriously, if you have watched this far, you're a real one, and I thank you. Okay, so stargaze. Okay, and that could be really a sign of a lot of things. One, to be in touch with the cosmos, especially with this tantric journey of, you know, looking at the stars, really getting out at night, and or, you know, checking your astrological transits as well. I'm getting that with stargaze. You know, if you live in the city or you live in a place where you really can't see the stars, maybe look for some videos of like cosmic imagery. There are so many ways that we can, you know, get in touch with, you know, cosmic energy and look at the stars. Maybe look at some documentaries about, you know, the, you know, formation of the universe. That really could be something that is healing for you. It's like, you know, it really gives us a sense of, you know, how wondrous and how connected we are, and, you know, how there must be something bigger out there than ourselves. I truly believe that. But in whatever way that resonates for you, like, get in touch with the stars. Okay. And flowers. Okay. And this is earth energy. So, you know, maybe there are flower remedies, or just bringing some sort of like flowers into your space, printing out pictures of flowers, any way that you can do that. I don't care. Like, these are fake. I use fake flowers sometimes, you know, because they don't die. I have cats and they like to mess with things, you know, but just whatever way. We don't all have like tons of money to buy fresh flowers. You know, any inclusive way, you know, that you can introduce, you know, flowers in. I see beauty as well, you know, with us being in a 6 lovers Venus year, just inviting more beauty into your space, especially when you're feeling stressed, you know. And as well, you know, with stargazing, stars are very beautiful and calming as well, you know, so could be very important to your self-care. It's too many. One more self-care card for Scorpio. whichever one's on top. Okay, ritual. Didn't I say something about ritual? And this other one that came out was movie. Okay, so movies might be it, but I'm going to take ritual since it was on top. But creating some sort of ritual for yourself, and that's why with Stargaze, I was thinking like, you know, checking your transits or bringing astrology. If you are, you know, big into astrology, really, you know, bringing that into your practice. If you have a practice, if you don't, you know, also bringing flowers, like certain flower remedies, or, you know, checking the moon transits, you know, whatever helps you. Like here we have, you know, pink pepper, coriander, like create rituals around herbs, and maybe a ritual where you're connecting with your guides through meditation. You know, this Judgment card, look how she's kind of allowing herself to surrender to spirit. Like, you know, this almost looks like astral projection to me. Definitely, if you are more familiar with astral projection, maybe that's something that you want to do. If you're not, make sure that you look into how to do it safely if you want to try. We always want to do those things safely. And then communication, maybe, you know, asking somebody, if you know a witchy type person or somebody who knows how to do that, how to do it safely and be supported. And this hermit energy, you know, just reaching for divine wisdom, you know, and maybe making a ritual of doing some sort of research, because the hermit is wise. So, you know, maybe looking into Tantra and creating tantric rituals for yourself. But so many ways that could apply. Just, you know, kind of consider how it could be something that you incorporate monthly, you know, because this card says monthly. So I'm really getting that too, like that it will help with this my heart is open statement, you know, where this trigger statement, I'm guarded, you know, this has to do with receptivity. It will, little by little, month by month, you'll notice that, you know, your energy is much more receptive and open. So that is all I'm seeing for you, Scorpio. Thank you so much. And make sure to leave a comment letting me know what resonated for you. I really love to hear from you, and I want to make this a true community. So I would really love, you know, if other people leave comments, that you guys kind of try to get a conversation going and respond to each other. And as well, I want to thank you for your presence, your time, and your energy. That's truly where the magic happens. And thank you to all the collective guides and angels for these wonderful messages. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel with folks who could benefit from the messages. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Stay safe, be gentle with yourselves, and I will see you again next month, okay? Bye, Scorpio.